but you're wired somehow. You have a certain way of existing that is absolutely natural and skillful for you. It's you're talented in that way. It's how your heart expresses itself. It's how you get inside of love, and how love expresses itself uniquely through you.
If you have a mind, you have a mission.
If you have a mind,
You have a mission.
If you have a mind,
You have a mission.
Welcome everyone, Satnam. Welcome to the 40-day challenge. Here we go. Nice to be here with everyone. And I think this is going to be a great journey and experience together. And that's been kind of all of our sense about this one from really the get-go of understanding what it is that we're going to be doing. And then putting it in motion. And so today is day number 1, and just simply by doing this broadcast, you'll be rolling. You'll have completed kind of the first day of your 40-day experience. Now, there's some of you here who are brand new to all of this, and welcome. Really happy that you're here. And we know there's, of course, a lot of you that have done many of these, and you've been part of the Life Force Academy for a long time. And welcome to you as well. Really grateful that everybody's here and that we're doing this work together. It's a really, as we know, important time on planet Earth, and we need as many people as possible to be doing this type of work and be doing these types of practices that keep the mind clear, keep the heart open, keep life force in the body, nurturing the higher centers of the human psyche. That's so important for us. And so for that reason, among other reasons, I'm very grateful that you're taking part in this. Everything that we do in our lives, no matter whether it's our work, or it's our relationships, everything that we do eventually will start to pivot around a deeper purpose of what it is we're doing here. And when we talk about purpose, when we talk about purpose, it doesn't necessarily mean like the job that you have or what you do to make money in your life. That's not purpose. Purpose is something much deeper. Purpose is something that vibrates from the center of you in the outward direction into your life. And so when the vehicle, which is the mind, body, human organism, it's not just a mind and a body. That's often how we refer to it, the mind, body. But it's also an electromagnetic field. It has a life force energy. It has a subtle body, and so forth. When the human instrument, the organism in which your energy is traveling in for this lifetime, when it gets tuned properly, and that's very much like what it is that we're doing, is tuning the instrument, it will start to vibrate the energy of grace. It'll start to vibrate the energy of love. It will start to vibrate the energy of peace and purpose and prosperity. And that's the science of Kundalini Yoga, is tuning that instrument in that fashion. And that's what this 40-day challenge is going to be. It is a 40-day challenge, and it's called that for a reason, because at a certain point, we expect it to be challenging. Even for those of us who have been doing a lot of this kind of stuff, there's an intangible or something that's often non-rational that takes place that causes adversity in the process, because it takes 40 days to transform energy. You can't destroy your anxiousness. You can't destroy your depression. You can't destroy anger tendencies. You can't destroy energy. You can only transform energy. But to be able to sufficiently transform energy and do it in such a fashion that it gets stabilized in a higher form, it takes time and it takes consistency. And that's what it is that we're doing. So to turn anxiety into more like a prayerfulness, which is the same energy but in a more desirable expression, and also of course in a more enjoyable expression. What's more enjoyable, anxiety or prayerfulness? Now you might be thinking like, well, I'm not really a prayerful person. I know many of you here certainly would consider yourself a prayerful person, but there's many people that may not. And it could be that it's just how we define the word prayer would be the difference here. When by prayerful person, I don't mean a religious person. I mean someone who is whose mind is able to communicate and interconnect with the subtle aspects of life in a harmonious and genuine fashion. And so the same thing that anxiety is I say I'm visualizing some sort of negative circumstances, and then I'm projecting onto my future. That's what anxiety is. Depression is when the energy of the past is overpowering my present moment, my present day. And so when you're working with what we're going to be doing in this 40-day meditation, what we call the Tantric Kriya, and this 40-day challenge is called the Tantric Force. We're going to be working with the energy that gives you and that generates and cultivates the inner power to cut through the tendencies to be dominated by the past, or cuts through the tendency that causes the psyche to go too far out into the future in a disharmonious fashion. So really what we're working with more than anything else is mental tendencies. But we're not working with mental tendencies in an overly analytical or intellectual fashion. We're working with mental tendencies because the deep mental tendencies that really cause us pain and problems in our lives are those that come from the subconscious mind. And the habits of our lives come from the subconscious mind. And so working with the philosophical or rational intellectual mind is only going to be so helpful in terms of actually transforming deep-seated energy habits that are generated out of your subconscious that have gained momentum for years upon years upon years upon years, if not lifetimes upon lifetimes upon lifetimes upon lifetimes. That's really big work that we're doing here. And we could only imagine that, of course, at least it would take a 40-day consistency, a 40-day focused effort in order to actually transform fundamental habits within the subconscious psyche and turn them into something that is going to be now a promoting energy for you. It's going to give you vitality. So instead of depression, you're getting a sweetness and a love. Instead of anxiety, you're now getting a more prayerfulness. So when the feeling of uncertainty arises in the organism, thoughts become feelings, feelings become emotions. So as that feeling of uncertainty arises, instead of the emotion of anxiety being produced, we are creating a structure or a life force environment within your organism, your body-mind system, that will produce a more of a prayerful, a positive projection for you. Instead of the feeling that would have previously created, or perhaps is currently creating, a depression, a melancholy. So the energy that is now turning into a negative force in life. We're going to work with it using these meditations, exercises, and so forth, and also teachings, that now that energy is able to lighten up and to create a positive force in your life, such as devotion. And devotion means simply just the energy of love that is directed in a particular fashion. So if I have devotion to my family, It's the energy of love that is now being projected around and holding the energy of my family. And that may look like a simple mundane expression of doing the dishes after dinner. It may look like, okay, giving my wife a massage on her shoulders after a difficult day. It can look like all sorts of different things. But underneath all of that is a deeper, more subtle, more profound energy. Now, when that devotional energy is directed towards something that is subtle and that which you can't see, that which we might call the infinite, that which some folks will call God or the divine or the universe, it's really not that important what you call it, but that there's some sort of understanding or experience that there's an energy that is permeating existence that is supremely intelligent, and that is vibration is love. And my discovery as a yogi is to verify that, and is to experience that. And is it not to experience that outside of myself, but experience that as what vibrates in the center of myself. And then out of that experience, all of this starts to blossom. All of this starts to mature. And all of this starts to stabilize in the experience of life. So that now I'm consistently experiencing love in my life. I'm consistently, even when life is difficult and painful, I'm still experiencing deep love. I'm still getting deep wisdom out of that. And so our job as human beings is to make sure that we are cultivating and stabilizing an environment internally for ourselves, an inner life force environment that will produce love in life, that will produce goodness in life, that will produce harmony in our lives, that will give calmness of mind, clarity of mind, love in the heart, clarity of the mind. And out of those two things, love in the heart, clarity of the mind, all good things flow. It's not realistic, however, to think that that's going to happen quickly if that's not currently our experience. So we have to move slowly, and we have to be very patient with ourselves, because at a certain point in this 40-day meditation, it's likely you're going to hit the wall of adversity. And you may want to opt out of this altogether. The mind that adversity may take the form in the mind starting to rationalize, maybe whatever it does. That's why each week we'll do a live broadcast such as this, and each week we'll release a new class in our brand new series called the Tantric Force, which is going to unpack all of this further, which is going to give you access to tremendous exercise practices, tremendous meditation practices that will all keep your momentum strong and keep your mind connected to the deeper reasons of what we're doing this for in the first place. You with me? So that is how to keep your momentum going. Each day you're doing the meditation, Tantric Kriya, that we're going to do today. Once a week, we're going to do a live broadcast like this. And once a week, we're going to release a new class into the Life Force Academy, the Tantric Force News series. And then those three pillars together form the Life Force Academy 40-Day Challenge. And we'll keep the momentum going strong. And so if you and I know that it's going to or it will at least potentially become difficult at some point, by knowing that, when it does become difficult, we can say, this is par for the course. This was to be expected. And then we have a better possibility that will keep going and not contextualize that as something negative. Because the challenge and the adversity that arises in a 40-day experience is necessary. Because what does challenge provide you but pressure? and some heat. And in order for anything in life to transform, say a carbon atom that goes under the earth, and then it gets enough pressure and heat, it can eventually become a diamond. In the same fashion, in order for our lower frequency energy, which we all have, to be able to transform into higher frequency energy, we need enough pressure and enough heat, but pressure and heat within the appropriate context. Because we have pressure and heat in our lives, but sometimes if it's not in the right context, it's not going to produce beneficial results. For instance, if you have a tremendous amount of stress in your life and you don't have a positive context for it, then that stress in your life can cause less vitality, less energy, more anxiety, more depression. But if all of a sudden you start doing this type of a work, then you'll start to perceive all the stress in your life, not just the stress or the pressure that comes from meditation commitments, but all the stress of life will begin to be contextualized in the same fashion. You'll realize that the great life intelligence that permeates all things, the interpenetrating life force of pranic intelligence and love energy, is always endeavoring for you to experience love. And it's working in all facets of your life. Those that seem to be disconnected from all of this, those that seem to be mundane, are not mundane whatsoever. And then all the stress in your life, whether it's coming from your significant other, from mom and dad, from your children, from your workplace, all of that will start to actually act as assets or allies to get you deeper energy, greater vitality, greater love energy. And so this is a starting point that then causes it to overflow into every aspect of life. And so we, as high caliber human beings, are making sure that we're living our lives in such a fashion that we can handle whatever life brings our way. And at times, and we don't know what's going to be happening here in the coming years on planet Earth. So absolutely we want to have that type of vitality and caliber. We want to be able to love. We want to be able to experience joy and depth no matter what it is that's going on. So we have big work to do. And I'm happy we're here together and doing this work today. We're going to start by doing some exercises, moving the life force in the body. And I want to encourage you when you're doing your meditation each day, that you begin, you don't have to, but I would encourage you to begin by doing some exercises, some Kundalini Yoga exercises before you do your meditation. And what I would recommend is you go over to the power practices in the Life Force Academy and do the warm-up Kriya that we have over there. And we can place a link for that on the 40-day challenge page for you. That's what I would recommend. Of course, that's an option, but I think you'll find it's beneficial. We'll be doing something along the same lines here in this broadcast today. So let us tune in together, and then we're gonna start moving the body. So come into prayer pose. Can I get less volume on my headphones? So inhale, please. Exhale. Chest lifted, palms pressed together. Meditative gaze into the third eye space. Inhale deep. Exhale. Jugangure Name, Satgure Name, Siddhi Gurudevi Name, Adangure Name, Jugangure Name, Satgure Name, Siddhi Gurudevi Name, Adangure Name, Jugangure Name, Satgure Name, Siddhi Gurudevi Name. Satnam. Okay, for those of you who are newer to all this, and I still like tuning in process and all that is new to you, there's a section in the academy on how to begin a practice, how to end the practice. So check that out at some point. And let us begin. So come onto the hands and knees, and we're going to start cat-cow. So you're going to be inhaling, the head is coming up, and exhaling, the head is coming down. Nice, smooth, rhythmic motion. Eyes closed. Mind dwells on the breath. And the sound of the inhale is Sat, and the sound of the exhale, Nam. Sat, Nam. Imagine the inhalation is chanting Sat. Imagine the exhalation is chanting Nam.
All I'm thinking, always thinking, even 100,000 times. Still we're thinking, always thinking, but a solution can't be found. Meditation, deep meditation, deep as we could ever go. Meditation forever, in meditation forever, quiet peace cannot be found.
Now deeper the breath, keep up.
And the hungry will stay hungry as they watch their food become the wealth of another, become the wealth of another, and all our cleverest studies will still return when we meet there. And we return when we meet there. Where is the purity? Where is the purity in the labyrinth of falsehood? Where is the purity?
Very deep breath, keep up going. 10 seconds. Meditative mind.
Where is the purity? Where is the purity in the labyrinth of falsehood?
And inhale, head is up.
Where is the purity? Where is the purity?
And third eye is the gaze.
Labyrinth of falsehood.
And exhale, the head is down. Push all the breath out. And good, and relax up and come make your way back to easy pose. Okay. You're going to bring your hands to ankles or shins. And by the way, most of these you can do also for those who would it would be helpful. You can do most of these exercises sitting on a chair if that would work best for you. And just make sure feet flat on the floor. And none of us are wearing socks or shoes. And in this case, your hands would be on your lap. Otherwise, of course, easy pose, hands on your ankles or shins and the spinal flexes. So you're going to inhale, lifting forward, exhale back, like that.
Where is the purity? Where is the purity in the labyrinth of falsehood? Where is the purity? Where is the purity in the labyrinth of falsehood?
You keep up. Inhaling, lifting through the chest, chin is in. Exhaling back. Use the breath to move the energy in your body. Relax mind, combined with powerful breathing. Meditative gaze, third eye. Deep inhale. Draw your gaze in between the two eyebrows, third eye. Rectum, sex organ, navel, up and in. Become still. And exhale. Beautiful. So now, if any of these, again, if you're newer to this and some of it's like, I'm not quite sure what we're doing or what that means with like third eye, you'll get all this and just do the best you can. In third eye, you're drawing your gaze up and in between the eyebrows. Everyone, even those of us who feel like you know that already, draw your gaze, close your eyes, and draw your gaze up and in, where the two eyebrows would meet at the root of the nose. And see if you can just relax your gaze into that space. Optic nerve. When that optic nerve goes into that space, it stimulates your pituitary gland. And it causes the mind to center itself. It's very, very important technique to know as a human being and to practice on the regular. And so if you're doing these types of exercises every day, and then and throughout the exercises, you're practicing your gaze into that space, it's going to concentrate your life force. And then you're going to start to experience pranic power, life force strength. And that gives you mental power. And mental power gives you the capacity to choose in life, where I can choose to feel happy in moments where previously in my life I would feel unhappy. I'm choosing to feel happy because I know the importance of life, and I know the finite nature of this life. I don't have time to be unhappy or miserable. I've got to create the energy to where I can choose happiness. And that's is going to take time. And so I'm talking about these things, but know that this takes time. And so if you're feeling miserable, or you're getting like emotional and depressed or anxious or angry, all of that is just a sign of you're perfectly normal human being, and practice loving yourself regardless of that, and during that, and know that it's a process, and use that energy. It's like, all right, well, now I'm going to take that energy into these practices and into these meditations. And if I'm feeling sad, I'm going to feel sad, and then I'm going to do the practice and watch what it does with that sadness. It might just turn it into love. I'm going to take my anxiousness and I'm going to bring it into the practice, and I'm going to do it like that. And then that's the simple process of life. And so, but you're the one who is becoming the master of your domain, not your mind, not your emotions, your energy and your force of your will. You're working to generate the capacity to where that becomes, where you become the master of all of this that is happening in your life. So take your hands up to here, fingers in the front, thumbs are in the back, and you're going to be inhaling to the left, exhaling to the right. And it's a powerful breath, opening up the spinal channels. Elbows are up at shoulder height. Keep up, another 20 seconds. Now to the center, your deepest inhale. And draw the gaze into the third eye. Now lift through the rectum, sex organ, navel, under tongue, roof of the mouth, and become very still. Exhale. Hands on your knees. And then chest lifted, and chin slightly in. Your root lock, your core muscles engaged. And then you're going to inhale, shoulders up, exhale, release, light. Keep the gaze relaxed into the third eye. Keep your mulaband lifted. squeeze up and squeeze out the tension. Exhale. Beautiful. Stretch the legs open wide. And you're going to inhale center and turn to your left, exhale down. And inhale up to the center, turn the other side, exhale down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Most importantly is your breathing, though, is a deep inhalation. And then you pivot from your navel area. You lead with your heart, not the head. And you exhale down. It's not important if you're touching your toes. Move from the navel, keep your heart lifted, and make your breath deep. Center and relax. Exhale, shake your legs out and come back to easy pose. And now take your arms 60 degrees. Fingers are tucked in. Thumbs are out. And the arms are going to come 60 degrees up. Ladies, if you're pregnant or on your moon cycle right now, when we're doing Breath of Fire, do long, deep breathing. You're going to come 60 degrees up. Gaze a third eye. And inhale deep. And go. Elongate through the arms. Third eye gaze. seconds. Now visualize your whole auric field beaming, radiant, beautiful, breath of fire. Inhale. Thumb tips touching, fingers wide, root lock in, now gaze upward, third eye. Under tongue, roof of the mouth. Hold the posture, exhale. Deeper inhale. Rectum, sex organ, navel, up and in. Stretch up, release your shoulder blades down the back. Now touch the ceiling. Exhale. One more time, inhale deep. Root lock up. Now look up as if you're gazing out the crown of your head. Stretch up, release the shoulder blades, touch the ceiling. Exhale. Beautiful. Now I think we're ready. There's three kind of components to that. Anytime whether you're doing, say, like a sun salutation, and you're coming up, inhaling, to get an elongation of the spine, an extension through your spine, there's three primary components. And so we'll try it one more time. The first is always the root lock, mulaband. So that means the contraction of the perineum area, rectum, sex organ, navel, up and in. That gives you foundation. So where now you have that locked down here. So then when you extend up through your chest and with the chin tucked in, that creates an extension like that. If you don't have that here, and then if you don't have that root lock in, and then you extend upward, you tend to just get some extension, but mostly you tend to just squeeze up through your shoulders. And so instead, root lock is in. Try it right now. Mulaband is in. And then you lift up through your chest. Release the shoulder blades down the back. And then extend out through your fingertips. I like to say touch the ceiling. Of course, you're not going to be able to touch the ceiling, but you try. And that'll give you an extension. And so try it one more time. Root lock is in. Inhale deep. Now, suspend the breath. Thumb tips touching. Draw the shoulders down. Release the shoulders down. And then touch the ceiling. Now gaze upward. Exhale. So keep practicing, yeah? All right. So we ready? A couple of things before we begin. Tantric Kriya. On the live broadcast, we're going to do 22 minutes. You may not be doing that much on a daily basis, but that's an opportunity each week to give yourself a supercharge. And so if you're saying doing 11 minutes or less on the daily, then when you come to the once a week live broadcast, you do 22, it's going to make your 11 seem a lot easier. Law of relativity. And now, of course, if you're doing 31 and we're only doing 22, you can keep going, or you can do the rest later in the day, whatever you choose to do. But for the live broadcast, we do in the middle. And one thing my team asked me to reiterate is that it's one live broadcast per week. Every other day, you're doing the meditation using the videos or the audio on the 40-day challenge page, okay? So we do this once a week here. Next week's live broadcast, so next week's kind of special and different than most any other week because we have our Dharma Warrior immersion that is taking place in the Catskills of New York that starts next week. So we'll all be out in New York next week. So what we're going to do on Friday morning, early in the morning East Coast time, while we're going to be doing this meditation as part of our early morning practice every day at the immersion, which starts on Wednesday evening. Friday morning, which is going to be early East Coast time, we're going to stream live from the immersion, and do the meditation. You're going to be able to do the meditation with us from the immersion. So it'll be a different style of live broadcast. Usually on the live broadcast each week, I'll teach. We'll do this. So this is going to be different. It's going to be where I'm going to be leading the meditation. Somebody else will probably be leading the yoga exercises. So let me tell you the times. And this is unlike anything we've ever done before, actually. And in fact, another thing that we've never done before is we're going to be, you're going to be able, if you wish, to sign up for a live stream of the entire immersion and then have that immersion on demand and be able to take it from home. And so we're going to announce that this week, probably tomorrow. So anyways, the actual meditation that we're going to be doing is going to start around somewhere probably around, 5:55 a.m. East Coast time. That's New York time. 5:55 a.m. New York time is when the Tantric Kriya, give or take 10, even 15 minutes. We're going to be doing 22 minutes of it. Now, before that, there's going to be the Longek Onkar meditation. And before that, a Kundalini Yoga set. And before that, we'll be chanting Japji. So if you're not familiar with any of that, don't worry about it right now. If you're new to all this, don't worry about all that stuff right now. It's some stuff you might want to learn about later. For right now, I say keep it simple. Just stick with the meditation. But for those of you who want to participate in all that, we're going to endeavor to stream the whole thing. Now, we haven't done this before, so do our best to make it be seamless. But it is somewhat of an experiment. So 4:30 a.m. is when, at 4:30 a.m. East Coast time is when we'll be chanting Japji. And around 10 till 5, 4:50 a.m. is when a yoga set will start. That'll be an exercise set. Around 5:20 a.m. will be Longek Onkar's meditation. Many of you have done that as part of a 40-day challenge. And then at 5:55-ish, something like that, we'll be starting our Tantric Kriya for 22 minutes. So that's the way we're going to get in our live broadcast next week, because we're going to be in immersion. All the other weeks of this 40-day challenge, we'll be doing a live broadcast similarly to this. This is the live broadcast, the first one of the challenge, where there's a lot of all right, here's how it all works. This is what's going on. Moving forward after this, we'll really be able to get into the deeper layers of the teachings and what we're doing and do our exercises, of course, do the meditation. And these are always, for me, they're one of the best parts of the week. They're really powerful, really beautiful. And then after each live broadcast, I'll be going live on our Life Force Academy forum on Facebook, and we can all connect over there. And so this week, no exception. After we're done, after our meditation, I'll be heading right over to our forum, and I'll be going live on Facebook and in the Life Force Academy group. If you haven't requested to be a member of that yet, please do so you can participate, and we'll approve you. And that's what it is. Okay, so the other things they wanted me to clarify, I think in the introduction video to the 40-day challenge, I may have said prosperity was the first level, but you'll see it on there. Radiance is the first level, 11 minutes per day. Prosperity, 22 minutes a day. And warriors, 31 minutes a day. And so let's get into the Kriya. So here's what's going on. We're going to be doing the Tantric Kriya once a day, every day starting today for the next 40 days. And I will explain the Kriya one more time today. Of course, you have the video that explains it already. I imagine most everyone's done it already. You did the webcast with us, or you've watched the video on the 40-day challenge page. But for one more time today, I'll explain the Kriya. And of course, if you have questions, you can visit the video on the 40-day challenge page. Your posture is all the fingers are interlocked, and they go at like an angle upward. He described them as like curved swords. And so and then the thumbs rest forward, and you're holding the mudra at the height of your heart center. So that's the center of your chest, heart chakra. And your chest needs to be lifted up, just like we were talking about with extension. It's the same principles. Your root lock is in, perineum, core muscles are engaged, and chest is lifted, and shoulders are dropped, and chin is slightly in. Now your gaze is specifically, it says to look past your nose. Normally our gaze is either third eye, tip of the nose, or there's a couple other possibilities. In this Kriya, it says look past the nose. And so it's like looking at the tip of the nose, but you're kind of gazing further down. It's a unique type of drishti or gaze. And so it's a kind of mystical gaze, looking down like you're looking at the tip of your nose, but you're looking past the nose. And that's the gaze. Okay? And so what we're going to be doing is on each breath, you're chanting the mantra 16 times. So the mantra Waheguru, Waheguru, Waheguru. Wa is like water, wa, wa, wa. He is like the heat of the sun. Guru means light. Gu is darkness, Ru is light. So it means that which dispels darkness and brings you into clarity. So Guru is light. So you have water, the heat of the sun, the light of the sun, the qualities that are required for life to take place. Now, this Waheguru mantra is reverently referred to as a mantra of ecstasy. And pulling the meditation up here. The mantra of ecstasy. So it's like almost like a hallelujah. It doesn't have a definition, so to speak. It's just something beautiful happens, Waheguru. Something, painful happens, Waheguru. It takes you into the between, in the center of the polarities. It's the neutralizing. It's the mantra of the higher chakras, and it draws your energy up into the higher chakras. So in this meditation, though, we're gonna be chanting that mantra 16 times per breath. So we take a deep inhale, and it goes, and you go, Waheguru, 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 Waheguru. Inhale and like that, okay? And so that's what we're going to be doing, 22 minutes. Your posture, your mudras like that. The fingers are at about a 45-degree angle, held at the heart center. Elbows are kind of up, but not so much that your shoulders get shrugged up. Keep your shoulders relaxed down. Root lock in, chest lifted. And to the best of your ability, hold your posture as steady as possible, because you're going to generate a magnetic field within the Kriya. So each day as you're doing this Kriya, your goal is to try to hold it still. And the more still that you can become, the more you're going to be able to generate life force and magnetism within the Kriya. So the best thing you can do is to hold the body still and to keep the gaze as best as you can, concentrating, looking past the nose, and then hypnotically chanting like that. Make sense? All right, here we go. If you need some water, have some water. Here we go. Inhale.
Waheguru, Waheguru. Guru
vibrate, hypnotic. Tip of the tongue, lips, navel.
Eyes closed, focused into the third eye. Retain the breath. Retain the breath. Exhale. Last time, inhale. Retain the breath. Squeeze Mundbandha, navel, rectum, sex organ in and up. Focus the gaze into the third eye. Squeeze. Retain the breath. And exhale and relax. And come laying on your back.
Satnam.
And relax.
Just sit in the meditative position. And those who wish to relax on the back, you're certainly welcome to. Sit in the meditative stillness.
And just relax here.
And inhale deeply. And exhale. Satnam. So when you're practicing this each day, it's not a requirement that you lie down on your back and relax, but certainly you can, and it's highly beneficial to do so. And it's recommended, but not required in this case. In some kriyas, it is, not in this case. And so you can relax on your back during this portion. You can sit in just beautiful meditative space in this portion. And whatever you wish. So we're going to seal our class here today. Congratulations on day number 1. Good launch. And in just a moment, I'm going to head over to the Facebook Academy forum and our private Facebook group, and I'm going to go live. I'd love to connect with everyone over there. But for now, please bring your hands into the prayer pose. Satnam. All right, nice work, everyone. Thanks for being a part of it. Wishing you a beautiful rest of the day, rest of the week. Tantric Force Class 1 comes out Thursday, I believe. And next live broadcast, as I mentioned, will be a special one, streaming from the Dharmic Warrior Immersion in the Catskills of New York. And by the way, come on to the Catskills of New York and be there in person. There's still some spots open. We have, I don't know, I think 10 to 15 spots still available. So, get on a plane, or if you're in driving distance, come over and do this with us and have the life-transforming experience. It's it's an unforgettable experience, and would love to have you there. All right, Satnam. Love you all. In a lot of ways, you see, regardless of whether you take this all literally or not, this is the training of how to develop the mind to become a happy person. Do you get that out of it? And that's the process we're going through right now. How do I continue to go through my process so that I now have the capacity to orient myself towards helping others?
Kundalini is amazing. It really helps you to be more grounded, and it really helps de-stress and takes away your anxiety and your fears. It's such an amazing tool to really become freer as a person and to become more of yourself and get comfortable with yourself.
So that's what a householder yoga life is about, is you're using the rajas of your life, the activity of your life, the stress of your life, the turbulence of your mind, and you're channeling it into more vitality, more consciousness, more love. That is the warrior way.
The combination of the intellectual capacity, the analytical capacity, the way Jayadev explains things to me made a lot of sense. I don't like to do things out of the blue just because somebody says so. And the teachings are very profound from my perspective, and it resonated with me.
Your projection and your mental attitude creates the context for the stress of your life. The whole idea is moving beyond worry and fear. But that's not stuffing the worries and the fears that you have. It's learning to develop the type of character, develop the type of nervous system, type of mental caliber that you know how to not indulge worries. Okay? It takes a lot of power to be able to do that. But fortunately, you have a lot of power. Question is, do you grab hold of it? That's what this immersion is about.